From the roar of the crowd to the roar of the engines, this is Pit Pass.
Here's your host, Ron Fox.
Welcome to another edition of Pit Pass right here on WHVL. Thanks for joining us. While the weather wiped out racing across the state on Friday, and unfortunately Bedford Speedway's special Sunday program featuring the 410 sprints was also rained out. Now Saturday was a different matter. We made the trip to Lincoln Speedway, and in a first right here on the show, we will devote the entire program to one racetrack. Here's what's coming up. We talked to one of Lincoln's co-owners about the track, past and present, as it celebrates its 60th anniversary. A full night of highlights, including the 410 and 358 sprints in action. And although a support division at Lincoln Speedway, the PA Thunder Cars are in the spotlight as we learn a little bit about the class and will show their feature event as well. Joining me on the set is Jan Miller, who's a production assistant here with Pit Pass. Jan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm used to being behind the cameras when we go to the speedways.
Yes, you have assisted me at different racetracks, but this past Saturday, we went to a track you're very familiar with.
Lincoln Speedway. I love that racetrack. It's the first racetrack I ever went to. I went there as a very young girl and basically grew up there. My family took me there several times, and we would take a blanket and lay it out and watch the races. We'll be having highlights of what happened at Lincoln Speedway coming up. But right now, let's go to a little segment that will teach you more about that speedway. Hello, we're here today with Don Leiby, one of the owners of Lincoln Speedway. Don, I believe you've been an owner since about 20 years now?
Yep, this is our 20th year here.
Okay, well, Lincoln Speedway this year is celebrating their 60th anniversary, correct?
Yes, 60 years.
Well, what kind of changes have you seen here at this speedway in the 20 years that you've been here?
Well, we started out with an office down here. It was about an 8x40 mobile home down here along the fence. We got rid of that as soon as we got here. This was a refreshment stand down on the first floor, and we built the office on the second floor. We did a bunch of improvements to move the cars out of the pit area, what we call the pit area, which is in the infield. We bought a piece of ground off of the golf course over here that they weren't really using. Had a contractor come in and blacktop the area. So we moved the cars out of the pit area because the rigs got so big, and then they stood on top of them, so the people over here sitting on the grandstand couldn't see anything. So we did that. That was a big change. And then once we had them out of the pits, then we made an infield in there, planted grass seed and got it in there. And then we dug a tunnel underneath our track and underneath our bleachers down here so that the people could come in and out of that grassy area without crossing the track and getting run over or whatever. So we did a lot of improvements here, and we're still doing some improvements. So.
Well, when I was here as a young girl, I remember there was an old wooden fence that's no longer here.
Yes, when we bought the racetrack, there was a wooden fence. Part of it was falling down. It was nailed and patched and all that. So we ripped that down, hauled that away, and put up a chain link fence all the way around it. So that was a big improvement.
I believe we probably had about maybe up to 1,000 spectators back when I was a young girl, but you said last week there was a very large crowd here?
Yeah, we had a World of Outlaw show here about a week and a half ago, I guess, and had a real good crowd at that, and probably had at least 3,000 people or so total. But it depends on what show you have, how many racing divisions you have. Our normal racing division is the 410 sprints. We have the 358 sprints here about 16 times, I think, a year. And then the Thunder Cars, we have them here about 12, 13 times a year. And then we'll go into different shows that we have, like ARDC midgets. We have like the ROC cars. We have a show coming up this coming Wednesday with those, and different divisions in there to make it interesting.
It seems like you run a very tight program here.
Well, I guess so. We try to anyhow. We have some real good employees here. Most all our employees is some of the best you can have around, our announcer and the PR man and all that stuff, starter, and all that stuff is just some good people, and that's what you need to run a speedway. You just do that.
And where do you see Lincoln Speedway heading in the next 20 years, and do you think you'll still be involved in that?
We could possibly be here yet. Who knows if I'm going to be around for 20 more years yet, but I think Lincoln has a good start, and if we're not here, I hope somebody else gets it and continues to race. We've always been threatened that we're going to sell out and have housing development come in here, and as we have about 80 acres here all total, but that's not going to happen as long as we're here.
Thank you so much for interviewing with me. I appreciate that. I love what you have done with the Speedway, and I do hope that over the next 20 years I'm able to come back many, many more times. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, and we appreciate you being here and doing this little story for us, and we hope you're back here every week. Okay?
Happy birthday, 60th birthday, Lincoln Speedway.
Coming up next, the 410 Sprints take to Lincoln Speedway for their 25-lap feature. That and more when Pit Pass returns.
When you think golf carts, think Jake's Custom Golf Carts. With over 300 stock and lifted carts at their shop, you'll find the cart you need or have Jake's build one to your specs. Custom airbrushing, lift kits, sport shifters, rear seats. You name it, with the expertise and craftsmanship people have come to expect from Jake's. Come see for yourself why Jake's is the nation's premier golf cart provider. Jake's Golf Carts, Route 522 McVeigh Town. Online at jakesgolfcarts.com.